Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Basti Taco 12. Thanks for the suggestion, Basti Taco. You asked, how do barcodes work? If you've ever stood at the checkout line, watching the cashier scan item after item, you might have wondered, what's happening when that little beep goes off? Today, we're diving into the black and white world of barcodes to reveal what's behind those mysterious stripes. So, if you've ever been baffled by the scanner, or just wanted to know how your groceries get identified faster than your own handwriting, stick around as we decode the barcode, right here on Explaining Everything. Let's start simple. A barcode is basically a visual way to represent data, usually numbers, using a pattern of black lines and white spaces. That's it. It's not a secret government code. It's not a modern art piece. It's basically a machine-readable tattoo for your bag of chips. Think of it like a product's name tag, but instead of, "Hi, I'm Salsa," it says, "I'm product number 037462. Please sell me for $3.29. The barcode itself doesn't store the price. It stores the code that points to the price in a database. So when the scanner reads it, the system checks a list like a supermarket bouncer and goes, "Yep, this guy's on the list. Let him in." So, scanning a barcode is less like reading a book and more like typing a password into the store's brain. Rewind to the late 1940s. The world was dreaming of jetpacks and robots. But supermarkets, they were dreaming of faster checkouts. Two inventors, Norman Joseph Woodland and Bernard Silver, were asked to come up with a way to automate checkout systems. Woodland had a genius moment while drawing Morse code in the sand at a beach. And instead of building a sandcastle like a normal person, he thought, wait, what if Morse code had vertical lines? In 1952, they got a patent for the first barcode system. It looked like a bullseye, a series of concentric circles. So basically, they invented barcodes and the world's first hypnotic grocery logo. It wasn't until 1974 that barcodes really took off, when a pack of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit gum became the first product ever scanned at a checkout in Ohio. Yes, the barcode's grand debut was gum. Historic and minty. A barcode is made up of black bars and white spaces of varying widths. These represent numbers in binary, the ones and zeros that computers are obsessed with. A scanner shines a red laser onto the barcode. Light reflects off the white parts and gets absorbed by the black ones. This creates a pattern that a sensor detects and turns into an electrical signal. That signal is translated into a numerical code. That code gets sent to the store's computer system, which says, "Oh, hey, that's a $3.49 bottle of cucumber-flavored sparkling water that no one really likes but keeps buying anyway." The most common barcode in the US is the UPCA, or Universal Product Code. It's 12 digits long and looks like this. The first 6 digits are the manufacturer's code. The next 5 are the product's code. The last digit is the check digit, a kind of built-in bouncer that makes sure everything's scanned correctly. Barcodes aren't all just stripes. They've evolved like Pokemon. The ones we're used to are 1D barcodes. the flat, linear kind. But then there are 2D barcodes, like QR codes. These can store way more information, not just numbers, but entire URLs, text, even a recipe for guacamole if you're feeling generous. QR codes are the fancy cousins. Now here's the cool part. Barcodes are tougher than they look. Let's say your barcode got scratched, folded, or chewed on by a bored toddler. As long as part of it is still visible, the scanner might still read it. That's because barcodes are often designed with redundancy, meaning some of the data is repeated in different parts of the code, just in case one part gets messed up. 2D barcodes like QR codes are even smarter. They use something called error correction, which basically says, okay, I don't have all the data, but I've got enough to take a pretty good guess. That's probably a burrito. So even if it's dirty, torn, or dipped in coffee, there's still hope for your snack to scan. Barcodes might seem small and simple, but they're the unsung heroes of global commerce. Without them, stores would grind to a halt. You'd have to remember prices, manually enter everything, and live in a world where people still write checks for milk. Barcodes enable lightning-fast checkouts, real-time inventory tracking, accurate pricing, fewer human errors, and that deeply satisfying beep we all know and love. Fun fact, that beep you hear when something scans? It doesn't mean anything technical. It's just there, so humans know it worked. Without it, we'd all stand there questioning reality and frozen peas. So now, the next time you're in line and you hear that little beep, you'll know a laser just read a tiny math puzzle. A computer solved it in milliseconds. And now, you're one step closer to going home with frozen waffles. Barcodes may look simple, but they're doing complex work behind the scenes, making retail faster, inventory smarter, and your checkout process way less painful. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.